being said, let's start with question one. You guys at Madrona, you guys work all the time. You're a small indie dev, and you've brought this game back from the start. So with that being said, what are some new features, of course, within limits that you can talk about that you are working on that the team is excited to bring back?
So at this moment, our major focus is guilds. We really want people to be able to join their guilds and play together with their friends and also their guilds. The other thing is we're preparing for level 49 level cap increase. So those two things are like the main focus right now.
Dude, awesome. So mainly guilds and the level cap. Of course, the level cap we have an answer for. That's going to be the 17th of October. Am I correct on that?
That's right, yeah.
Fantastic. So yeah, October 17th, we're getting four new levels in the game. Not quite mega tanks, but mega tanks aren't ready yet. They're so beautiful. They need to be done perfectly. You want to make sure those bad boys are done good. So completely understandable on that front. And then for
Just
as
three levels though.
just three levels? Yeah, no, no, that's my bad. For some reason, I was thinking we were at 45. I don't know why I was thinking. Yeah, I forgot about 46. That's my bad. No, that's just me being bad at math. Correct. It is three levels. Three levels to our level 49, and then guilds, dude. Ooh, dude, a lot of stuff going on with guilds, but we'll get into them later. We'll go on to this. How many, or if any, other Z2 employees are there at Madrona?
I'm the only one right now.
Okay.
I did personally reach out to a couple of my friends that used to, work with me on Z2,
Hmm?
and they all have, their lives. They all have their projects. So currently, I am the only one.
Heard that, dude. Awesome. So really, it's just you, man. So if you don't mind me asking, I was gonna ask you, your opinion, of course, everybody, all the other Z2 opinions, but just your opinion, man. How do you feel about the game now compared to back then?
Um, I feel like obviously, there's a lot that we still need to do to, make the game fully fledged like it was back then. But I think it's really, really good. I am loving the community. I think Madrona is doing an excellent job with how we're, developing and releasing features. We are, it's very rare to have something like this, actually be successful. Like if you look at other, revivals and other games, a lot of times they start off, really, really, gung ho. We're gonna, do this remake, and then it kind of just peters out and dies. And I'm just really, really lucky to be part of a team that is extremely serious and is actually, crunching out this game and restoring it to its former glory. It's really awesome.
Dude, absolutely. I mean, just like you said, it is unbelievable the fact that we even have this opportunity. I mean, how many mobile games get brought back from the dead? I would say like 99.99%. Once they're down, they're in the grave forever. It's gone. It's blammo. So everybody in 2016 was thinking, all right, this is the end of Battle Nations. Even me, I love Battle Nations, bro. And like, I was just like, that's it. It's over. But the fact that we have this opportunity is just so unbelievable. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, man, dude. So that's awesome, dude. Uh, dude, congrats for being the only one, dude. I can't believe you lead that, man. It's literally just you, bro.
Yeah, it's insane because I worked in this game. This was my first game out of college. I went to DigiPen, then I got hired by Z2, and then I kind of just lost touch with the game, started doing other things, and all of a sudden, I heard about the remake, and now it's like I'm part of it, and that's just really amazing.
Dude, awesome, awesome about that. And yeah, just making sure sound is still good, which I believe so it is on the video. Going into our third question. So, what you did say, of course, we're working mainly on levels right now. Of course, those come out mid of the month, October 17th. What is the current look on guilds? Because a few people were asking that in chat, and that's also, ironically enough, my very next question. Of course, guilds are coming along, and I know you guys are having to bring this back from the start, right? Like, I want to clarify, this isn't an easy process. You don't just go in here and, boop, 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 and just recreate it all, because you have to go in there and physically code it all in again. So it is an entire process. But I just wanted to ask, with that being said, how would you say you are coming along with the guilds? Of course, a lot of progress has been made. I know it's your next guy's feature, so it's probably going to be soon, but no real time scale. But how would you say personally you feel it's coming along?
Yeah, so let me just address the first part of your question. I just want people to know that, there might be, other games out there, that have some of these features, and it might be like really common to see these features. But just because it's common out there in the game ecosystem doesn't mean that it's easy to do. We are, coding this game from absolute scratch in terms of the code, both on the server and the client. And so every feature we're doing is a lot of work. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that y'all can't see. a lot of work, a lot of technical stuff that needs to get set up. This is a huge thing that we're doing, right? We're wanting, potentially millions of players to be playing our game simultaneously, and there's a lot of tech that goes into that. So even if a feature seems easy or seems like it's in a lot of games, it's actually we're doing this from the ground up, and it's a lot of work. So something like guilds, which many games do have, we're making really really good progress. Like I saw one of our other devs, working on the UI, which is looking beautiful. Our server dev is working on the services aspect of this, and it's making good progress. So we're making really really good progress, and we're hoping to release it to you guys as soon as we possibly can.
Dude, that's awesome, dude. Fantastic here. It's coming along that well. Um, and if I could ask a follow up, and it's just in reference to this, it sounds like you guys are busting tail on the UI side of things. Making sure it can connect, make sure the servers are well, make sure it basically can handle the load. And it kind of seems, and I think this is just in general, it's not even really a statement to you guys, but it's just something I wish we could express more to the community. It really is server. Like it all is about server. Like coding, that's of course the process, getting the visuals and everything into it, making the game right. But literally keeping it up, make sure everybody can come in, making sure the network's okay. That seems to be like the big thing, and like the fact that you guys are like tackling that and making sure when it comes out, I really appreciate that. I just wanted to personally thank you because, dude, I love guilds. I think we all there's just the expectation that if it comes back, we're going to be hyped, right? So as long as you guys make sure you take care of the UI stuff, which it sounds like you guys are focusing on, dude, I am so freaking hyped for guilds. I think that's unironically going to make even like friends look like a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of aspects to guilds and pretty much any feature that we put out, right? There's a server side aspect that I personally don't really have a lot to do with. Then there's the client side aspects. There's the UI, but there's also the behavior, right? You got to make sure that when you click something, it actually does something. And we have to make sure that the network connectivity between the client and server, works well too. So it's a little bit more than just the UI and the server, but that's a pretty good simplification.
Dude, fantastic. I heard that. Fantastic. So this is the next one, literally right after Guild, just because it felt natural. They weren't asked at the same time, but I put them right next to each other just because it felt like it. So sounds like Guilds are coming along great. Sounds like when they drop, they're going to be amazing, awesome. So I think, and I could be wrong on this, I feel like it's going to be Guilds. We're going to have so much hype from that, groups and everything, and then we're going to get boss strikes. But how are boss strikes coming along with the understanding that Guilds are coming first? You just said, of course, yourself, levels, of course, that's first. That's already got a date. Then Guilds, and maybe not even boss strikes third. I know you said you had an order. I don't want to assume that order, but I know it's levels definitively, then guilds, and then I would guess boss strikes just because that follows guilds. But that might be too common. You might want to do raid occupation something. Just would like that clarification.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good summary. So, boss strikes, they depend on guilds, right? Because, in order to do boss strikes, it's kind of like a guild activity. So, in order to do boss strikes, we have to finish up with guilds. And so, right now, because they depend on guilds, they're more like in the planning phase, whereas guilds are being actively developed. I did lose your video. Are you still there?
Oh yes, no, I was actually. So that that was actually totally controlled. I was trying to listen to. Normally, I just put my phone up to my ear like this and listen to it, but I thought that would look too stupid on video, so I just didn't want to do it. But it probably looked worse muting my camera feed for a second, so that was just my bad.
No worries.
Heard that. Heard, dude. I think that, dude, you summoned that up perfectly. Thank you very much, Boris. That was a perfect answer. Um, so moving right along. Let's see. Not that is you. Oh yeah. Um, so there was a U-Haul story in the previous stream regarding Hobby Hangout. Could you possibly, by chance, maybe spread a little bit about that lore?
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, I was driving a U-Haul from Arkansas to Seattle because I moved from Arkansas to Seattle recently. And I mean, there's not much to tell aside from the fact that it's annoying to drive a U-Haul when it doesn't have cruise control that long. And I'm not exactly used to driving a big old truck like that. My normal car is just a regular pickup. But yeah, I was just basically moving my whole setup. You can see boxes in the background. So my office is basically what I was hauling there.
Dude, heard that? And I just wanted to say, dude, like all of that looks super clean back here. Like you referred to it as a mess as earlier, brother. If that's a mess, then I live in a dumpster because, brother, that looks super clean. Like all, like unironically, just like you said, it looks like you're unboxing, moving. I like that desktop you got in the back there. That looks like a beauty. Is that a piano I see as well? Dude, that you got a nice
That's
setup
right.
back here,
Yeah.
dude. You got a nice setup back here. Um, dude, heard awesome. Yeah, just wanted to ask that. I think Drip loves Boris. I get a feeling about, dude, very possible. Um, let me ask you this. So is and this, I mean, you can answer this however you want. In fact, take it however you want. I would love to hear your take on it. But what is the day at Madrona like? Just working for Madrona, processing Balinations, and just keeping Balinations alive and growing and developing. What's that process like day from day?
I answered, and I'm having a Nicole. You still see me on screen and here?
Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I did have a little bit of
Oh,
technical
okay.
difficulty there. Gonna try to reconnect. I'm sorry. Yeah, you start that again. I apologize. Yeah, I did think I cut out for a second. I apologize about that.
No worries. Just making sure that everybody can see us. Are we back? I think we're back. All right. So a day at Madrona. I like this question a lot because it gives me an opportunity to go over some recent changes that have happened in my life and at Madrona. So first of all, I want to say that everybody's day is different. We have most of our people are remote and also have day jobs, right? So for a lot of us, this is a hobby that we're just doing on our free time. However, I am happy to announce that I have recently been converted to a full-time Madrona employee. So um, I can talk about my a day at Madrona as a full-time employee and one of very, very few full-time Madrona employees. I have to say, I have to shout out Andrew and James. They work basically all night, every night on this game. They have day jobs, but they basically never sleep. And I just want to, just call them out for being super hard workers and basically heroes. So if you want to thank anybody for, the return of Battle Nations, make sure to thank Andrew and James first.
Yeah.
For me, before I would work on Battle Nations, my nights and weekends. So, I was kind of doing it. But as of literally 2 days ago, I'm now full time and can put all of my time towards Battle Nations, which I'm very, very, very happy to report. However, the funny thing is my first day at Madrona, I actually had to go to a emergency root canal procedure
Oh,
because my tooth started hurting really, really bad, and I had to go to my dentist and then get a root canal done real quick. So
oh.
that was an interesting first day, but I still managed to release some code. So I think it went pretty well.
Dude, first off, let me just say congratulations on full time Madrona, dude. I think I speak for this entire community, especially when reading a chat, dude. It's well deserved, dude. Congratulations. And I just wanted to say, dude, Andrew and I want to say, does I know Andrew has a Discord account? Does all Madrona games? So I want to give both of them a shout out to Discord. I know Andrew's is just Andrew's. What's his Discord by chance?
So Andrew and James, both on Discord under those names.
Okay, yes, both
I just
James
wanted to
and
shout them out because they just work so hard. I just wanted to let people know that they are the backbone of what we're doing here. So very, very proud of them.
absolutely, because yeah, dude, I see Andrew and James there all the time. I hear about James all the time, but I see Andrew under Andrew on Discord. I just want to make sure James was under James as well, so I could shout both of them out. So if anybody wants to, personally thank them, because seriously, dude, like you said, they're doing this as part time. They have full time things. They stay up nightless hours to keep a mobile game alive for all of us. That's very generous of them. I just want to make sure, if people can want to express their generosity, they can. Because Andrew's there all the time. We all love him along with Alex. I love Alex as well. And then yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I want to shout out the whole entire team. Everybody puts in, just insane hours. Like Maddie on the server side, and Excalibur, who is helping me on the client side. All of them are putting in, ungodly, free time hours on this, and I'm really, really proud of all of them.
dude, awesome. Fantastic. You mind if I throw chat up here? Because chat, I think, could fit in that little black square on screen. I'm sure you see. Yeah, nothing wrong with it. If you dislike it, let me know. We can change it at any time. I was just going to let chat speak if they wanted to speak, if you were cool with that.
Yeah, I can't see the chat at all, so if you want me to respond to anything in chat, you'll have to say it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll let you know if anything happens, Chip. But yeah, just want to let you know so chat could be a part of this because I didn't. Yeah, I'm trying to zoom in on your face, but as long as I can see, the vast majority of you, that's all. And yeah, I'll still, of course, read anything particular from chat. Mainly, chat's just saying Boris for president. W Boris half full time. W Boris, congrats, man. W Devs. Literally, yeah, dude. Everybody is happy about that full time announcement, dude. I think legitimately, dude, that's awesome. Congrats, man.
So I can't be president. I wasn't born in the United States of America.
Oh.
Uh, I am a citizen, so I could be vice president, I
Yeah.
think, but I can't be president.
Correct. And you can be a governor of a state.
That's right.
So
I
you,
can be a governor, but
right.
not USA president. Yeah.
Right. So how about this? How about we compromise Boris for Washington State governor? I think that's a fair compromise.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Uh,
All right. And just wanted to go right into our next question. Let's see, what is the current vision for aircraft? So of course we already got the Pelican, we got the Hunter. Of course he comes down, strikes people. What is the current vision for, I guess you could say, future aircraft? We are just getting the infected back. Got them coming in. The Pelican I think is like a perfect aircraft. I think the concept of trainable aircraft needs to be, of course, taken care very carefully because of how contentious of a subject it is. However, I do love the Pelican, and I just wanted to ask you, and of course, the rest of Madrona, how do you guys feel about aircraft, and what are your current vision for aircraft?
so we are aware of what the community wants in terms of aircraft. I know that there are lots of suggestions in the suggestion channel about that. We don't have any specific plans. Our current focus is, guilds, the level cap increase, and then further along the line, boss strikes. So we don't have anything specific, but we are aware of what the community wants.
Dude, heard that, man. Heard that. AMZ did ask a direct question. I'm pretty sure you can answer this. I just want to ask it because I'm pretty sure I want to make sure, though. Boris, if you can tell us, what guild are you in?
I am currently in Morgan's Mammoths.
Morgan's Mammoths, dude. They were the lucky one. What a lucky set of guilds, man. All right. So moving right on to our next question. So yeah, he is taking ladies, and by ladies I mean guilds. And this is of course our next question. Are free nanopods from surveys coming back? 'Cause of course, I don't remember their names, but there were certain entities and stuff that gave us, free nanopods for videos, free nanopods for surveys, and just various different, entities like that. And again, can't think of any specifics, but, that concept, right? Free nanopods for ads, surveys, that kind of stuff. Could that concept maybe be coming back, and if so, what could it look like?
Yeah, so we are looking at some kind of service where you're able to watch ads and get nanopods for free that way. Maybe daily login rewards, although I'm not, I'm not promising that. So we are looking at that, but probably not for like answering surveys or anything like that. Can
Hey,
throw a hint your way.
wait, Boris, I don't want to cut you off.
Can
Hey,
throw a hint your way.
wait, Boris, I don't want to cut you off, but we did, unfortunately, cut out for a second. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
I do apologize about that. Uh, oh, I think we're back. I believe we are back.
Are we back?
I believe so, yeah, because I
All
just,
right.
yeah, it cut back on my freak out. Yep, and even chat saying, come back, it's back, we're back. So sorry about that, guys. Terribly sorry about that. And Boris, you're still on full volume, full audio, got everything pulled up right here. And yeah, we are back again. Terribly sorry about that, Boris. You can go right back to it. You can pick up however you would like.
Yeah, so the question was about what are our plans for after we bring back Battle Nations to its, former glory.
Correct.
And I was saying that we have extremely big and a lot of plans, most of which I can't talk about. But one hint I can throw your way is there's this faction that gets mentioned, during the missions called the Mountain League, and it was never really fleshed out or expanded upon. And one thought that we had was bringing the Mountain League back as a mission chain and a faction that you can interact with.
Oh, dude, awesome. So, man, yeah, that would be awesome. I don't even really remember much about them. So, would there be a lot to content go back, or would that be like kind of Madrona's creation? You know, like an old face, but like completely their identity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So they are mentioned here and there throughout the missions, but Z2 never did anything with them. And so that's just one example of something that we're planning on doing once the old content has been brought back.
Dude, awesome. Glad to hear that. That sounds awesome. So yeah, um, I would love to explore, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about this a trillion times. The ending of Battle Nations, man. It ended off on a bit of a cliffhanger. We never got it. I'm just gonna leave it at that because we got a whole bunch of people in here, probably a lot of new people. I don't want to say it for them, but you know what I mean. And to finally have Madrona back and to get some closure for that would be awesome, man. So looking forward to the day that comes. All right. And going right on, this one's a bit more of a personal one. In the previous interview with Hobby Hangout, you mentioned a Castle Craig State Park story. Could we possibly get that full explanation, please?
Yeah, I think I mentioned that in stream chat, either on your stream or in somebody else's. But yeah, so I used to work as a maintenance aide in Castle Craig State Park in Northern California, kind of near Mount Shasta. And one day I was out there painting some stuff, as a maintenance aide sometimes does. And I came back to the maintenance shop with a bunch of dirty brushes and nothing to clean them with. So I decided to try to clean them with gasoline,
Oh.
which didn't work. Gasoline is not terribly good at dissolving paint from brushes. But then I had this cup of gasoline and I decided to play with fire. So I took a spoonful of it while I was holding the big cup in my hand, put it into the metal sink, and lit it on fire. Now, I didn't know that for gasoline, it's not the liquid that burns, it's the fumes on top of the liquid that burns. So the fire traveled up the fumes from the spoon in the sink up into my hand, which was holding the cup of gasoline. So don't play with fire, kids, because immediately my hand got on fire. I dropped the cup of gasoline into the sink. It started a big flare up while my hand was on fire. I just ran around like a headless chicken trying to put the fire of my hand out. Meanwhile, the entire bathroom was engulfed in, this thick black sooty smoke. And luckily for me, the sink was made of metal, and you know, I didn't, burn down much more than just that gasoline in the sink. Um, but yeah, I had to spend the next day cleaning the walls of all that soot, and yeah, it was kind of terrifying. I almost burnt down the state park.
Bro,
So
that
the
is.
moral is, do not play with fire, kids. It's no joke. It could have been a lot worse. I could have harmed myself permanently. I could have destroyed the state park. So yeah, two lessons: don't play with fire, and when dealing with something like gasoline, it's the fumes that burn. So be careful. It's the fumes. So
Dude, heard that. Yeah, don't play with fire, don't mess with gasoline. Dude, I would never have guessed the story Castle Craig. Like, I was expecting a sweet, wholesome fun, not like arson. Like, basically, you became the arsonist from Battle Nations, right? You were up there racking up merits. Like, bro, that's insane. Well, yeah, I'm just glad, like you
yeah.
said, dude. It could have been a lot worse. I'm glad, it was the sink was metal too. That was a huge W.
Yeah, the
Whew.
funny thing about that sink though was the caulking around the drain completely melted, and it started to drip into the bucket that was below the sink, and the bucket completely melted. But luckily, there was a stone floor underneath it, like a concrete floor, and that didn't burn. So I was really, really lucky and saved by the materials that the bathroom was made of.
Dude, thank goodness, man. Cause yeah, yikes, dude. Again, I genuinely, when I got this asked, I was like, oh, Castle Craig State Park. That sounds like it's gonna be an awesome story. I bet it has. Dude, yeah, no, I wasn't working. Yeah, don't play with fire, kids. My goodness, bro. Um, awesome, dude. So moving right along to our next one. Um, is I guess you could say what's the best way to word this? Is it fun to work at Madrona Games, and what is the most enjoyable part of the process? Because obviously it's work, right? But like I imagine there's maybe a little bit of enjoyment there. And so, what's your favorite part of the day per se?
Well, I'm not going to pick a favorite part, but I'm just going to name a couple of things that make working at Madrona really fun. The number one thing by far is the people. Everybody is amazing. I mean, most of the people that I work with at Madrona are fans of Battle Nations that are really, really passionate about bringing this game back. And you can feel the passion when talking to them, even privately on Discord. So that's number one thing is the people. Um, Everybody is working really hard. Nobody's like, hey, you didn't finish this. Like nobody's like demanding. But everybody does work hard, so it all kind of just works. What else? Everybody has pretty much their own schedule, so there isn't any like set time except for a couple meetings during the week. It's pretty flexible, and we're working on our favorite games, so it could be more fun than that.
Dude, absolutely. And yeah, I think this question was asked under the understanding that you all were part time, which, I don't think the commenter just had, the benefit of knowing. But yeah, with the context of you guys, most of you guys working part time still, completely understandable. That would be, completely dependent based. Some of you guys may be working early morning, some guys late at night, and, just kind of all over the place. Completely understandable with that. Josh White said, after we get all of these questions done, if there's any possibility of taking some from chat. That is
Yep.
completely up to Boris. So yeah, Boris, whatever you're cool with that. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
dude, awesome, awesome. So yeah, once we get done with these questions, we are going to be taking questions from chat. Kaja, dude, appreciate the $5 and welcome back to chat. What's up, Boris and chat, dude? We are having a fun time. Face reveal and the Boris interview. It's doing pretty good, man. So continuing right along, man. What is your favorite old Battle Nations memory? No wrong answers here. Just answer from the heart, of course.
Not sure if I excuse me, I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but when Battle Nations was first getting ready to be released to the world, we did release to Canada first, but right before the global release, there were so many things to do to prepare for that release that all of us literally worked, and I counted literally 32 hours straight. We didn't even stop for lunch. We had the project manager go out and get us lunch and bring it to the office. Literally the only breaks were like bathroom breaks. And, we worked 32 hours straight. We got it released, and, we got a nice break afterwards. But that 32 hours, it was crunch time. It was grueling, but, it was a positive experience despite that. So it's my favorite memory for sure.
That's amazing. 32 hours straight made Battle Nations.
Not an exaggeration. I literally like looked at my watch and did the math, and it was exactly 32 hours and a couple of minutes. So, yeah.
Dang, man. Dude, I'm sorry they put you guys through that. Part of me wants to say that's considered torture to keep somebody out that long, especially coding, bro. It's like just keeping them up would be a mistake, but 32 hours hard coding is insane, bro. But
Not just the coders, the designers, everybody, the managers, everybody stayed and made sure that the game was released.
wow, dude, we appreciate all of you guys for doing that, and dude, we're so glad for you to still be here because that was Z2. So like, I hope those people are doing okay today. But we just some of them may not even know Battle Nations is back, but of course we at least have one. I would argue the best. So very glad to have that, and very glad to have that, dude. That was an awesome answer. I just can't believe Battle Nations was made for 32 hours straight progress, dude. I want to that I think that needs to be more well known. If you mind if I spread that around going
I
forward,
don't mind.
dude, awesome because I really like that. Um, Heard. Okay, going from Whiplash here a little, from an extremely happy memory to an extremely sad memory. um, how did you react to the in-game message that Battle Nations was shutting down? They gave everybody, of course, 99999 nanopods, and we got one last little run until it was the end time. So it was very bittersweet, but I think we all appreciate those nanopods. That was awesome. But it was like, dude, I was emotional, bro. I cried like legitimately. I loved the game that much. How did somebody like you who honestly even had way more of a connection? You made the game, it was basically your video game child. So like, how did you just process the shutting down of the game?
So I quit Z2 in 2012, late 2012. I had worked on the game for about a year and a half. And when I quit, I didn't continue playing. So I had only heard the Battle Nation shut down kind of like, kind of on the side. I wasn't really invested into it. I remember thinking that it was really unfortunate because I know that it had like millions of players who loved it. But it didn't really affect me as much as some of the players because I wasn't actually playing it back then.
Oh, dude, heard that. So yeah, you just found out at a later date that it had been shut down.
Yep.
Completely understandable. Yeah, man. That honestly would have been for the best because, dude, having played it and loved it at the time, again hit with that brick. Ooh, it was rough.
Yeah, I can imagine it was rough for many people. And I think when they gave people those all those nanopods to kind of like you know at the end of the Battle Nation's life, I think that was what really killed it. I mean, you could say the shutdown was on shutdown date. I think personally, the shutdown was when they gave everybody all those nanopods and just ruined the economy because you can't come back from that,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Like, cool.
dude. Yeah, you give everybody 99. It's like imagine Clash of Clans right now gave everybody 999 gems. That's it. That's the end of Clash of Clans. Like, you know what I mean? That you literally just destroyed the monetary system of the game, so it no longer exists. So I mean, yeah, as soon as they did that decision to give everybody 999 nanopods, that was absolutely it. There's no coming back from that.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why, like, even if we did have all the account data that was lost when the shutdown, it probably wouldn't be wise to give everybody their accounts back because the nanos just ruin everything.
That that's such a good answer because of course we still have people coming in here like hey, is it okay if I get my old account back, and you have to explain to them like sorry, we can't do that. That's a good answer too, dude, because yeah, even if we could, it would be broken because some people literally yes got to spend those 999 accounts. So that's a great point. I never even really thought about. Z2 really slammed the door shut when they put in 99999.
Yep.
Whoa, yeah, it's just one thing, yeah. Immediately back, dude, we're having a whiplash of emotions here. Immediately jumping back to another good memory. What is your personal favorite unit in all of Battle Nations?
Well, I didn't mention this before, but my favorite unit is Perface. I know we don't really have him as a buildable unit, but I got four cats in real life, and I just love Perface. He's pretty much like an indestructible cat. We use Perface as a test unit, God Kitty, on our dev accounts. And, so you see Perface a little bit in the beginning missions, but that is my favorite unit.
Dude, completely understandable. Perface. Yeah, Perface is such a G man, dude. I even recently learned that was, of course, a real cat. They even have a picture of the cat playing Battle Nations on an iPad, playing itself. Perface in that mission. So freaking awesome. Really, yeah, dude. Good answer. Okay, and so this one's more of a technical question, and I know, of course, you can't be too precise with it, but of course, you can answer it however you want, and even if you want to just give your general thoughts or guesses on it, that's perfectly fine. But that is, of course, the question: what is the current plan or idea for marketing and future marketing for Battle Nations?
Yeah, that's a good question. For now, we've been really, really happy with the organic growth that Battle Nations has had, and we're mostly focused on development for now. Um, but probably we're going to start marketing for real after multiplayer features get more fleshed out.
Dude, that's smart because everybody wants to play multiplayer. I mean, I'd argue it's a great single player game, even without friends and everything. But once you get multiplayer, once you get guilds back, once you get boss strikes back, especially, well, now you got reasons for your friend to invite your best friend to get him to try to get tier 10 aircraft. So yeah,
Yep.
that's a smart play. Definitely a smart idea there. Cooking. So continuing right along, we have. Let's see. What is I want to say this is more gameplay aspect. So, like, if you want to give more than just gameplay, that we would love that as well. But just in a gameplay aspect, what is your number one recommendation for new players starting out Battle Nations?
My number one recommendation, and I did talk to the dev team about this, and we all agree, is take your time. Read the dialogues. The dialogues are hilarious. The story is amazing. Enjoy the story. Take your time. Don't rush through the content. I know a lot of people did rush through their content. A lot of people are grinders and kind of want to get to that end game. But once you get there, what are you going to do, right? So take your time, enjoy the story. The story is amazing. The writing is really, really great. So, read the dialogues. Don't skip past them. There's a lot of amazing writing there.
Dude, awesome. Absolutely. And this might be a little bit of a hot take. I hope not. Because it really is just what you just said, dude. One of the funniest things in this game is the dialogue. Every time Morgan comes on screen, you're like, okay, something funny is about to happen, legitimately, right? So good.
Yeah.
And the fact that some people, like, I understand, he has great gameplay, great, building and everything, but some people, and, like, they're even my good friends and everything, and they're great players, but the second they go start a mission, they tap straight through it, and I'm like, bro, you didn't read anything. And they're like, I get the gist. And it's like, no, come on, man. That's like half the fun is reading it and, having the story. So completely understand you on that part. I'm glad even the dev team says that too, dude. Because, yeah, dude, it's like,
Yeah.
part of the enjoyment. I don't understand that. Dude, the only time I do that is literally on alt accounts, right? But literally, even on my YouTube, on streaming, and of course on my own personal, re-experiencing for the first time, after years, I always read each one thoroughly and did a little voice in my head. Of course, on YouTube, I read it out, stream read it out, and then even on my main, I just read it in my head.
Yeah, I love watching, streamers like you read the dialogues. I think Morgan is just a ridiculous character, right? Every character is like ridiculous, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, funny, completely unrealistic, and kind of like that. Hey, we're doing all these war crimes, but laughing about it, right? I mean, the story is just. I mean, it's just so ridiculous and so fun. So yeah, I would recommend everybody, slow down and really, really take it in.
Dude, heard that, man. Heard that. A completely good point as well. And of course, if you want to kind of go around this, just a kind of follow up question that, um, would you say that the dialogue of the game and the breeding of the story, is a focus of a continuation? And again, if you can answer this, and what I mean by that is, it's like, for example, Cassidy and Ramsey. Over time, they kind of built up a relationship, right? And Perkins, becomes stronger. He has Karen Winters. Him and her kind of have that on and on off thing. Um, I really kind of like those, untied plot points. And I hope you guys, especially since you just said that's your favorite part, I'm really excited to hear that. I hope we can maybe get some more of those dialogues. Ramsey, Morgan, oh, no, I'm sorry, not Morgan, Perkins' relationship, and maybe even, Morgan has a relationship outside of alcohol. Who knows?
Yeah, all I can say is we are planning to, like I said earlier, increase the number of missions that we have once we bring everything back. So I can't really speak to any specific character or anything like that, but definitely we are looking forward to expanding the missions we have and writing more hilarious dialogue.
Dude, awesome. Very glad to hear that, dude. Um, Dude, fantastic. Going right into our next question. Um, will friends and assist be brought back to an unlimited standard? Basically, was the nerf to 100 friends and 50 assists per day more of nerfing the in-game side of it because you could theoretically get unlimited resource, unlimited gears, unlimited bars, and you didn't want people to have unlimited friends? Or is it more of side of the servers, just wanted to make sure everybody can come in when they want to and be able to assist how they want to? It was more of a situation like that.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of factors. Definitely, the technical aspects were one of the factors. Obviously, we will not be bringing back unlimited friends and assists, but we are thinking and looking at ways of improving the current experience around that.
Dude, absolutely. And of course, while those 3 days were fun, my biggest issue was, I mean, even mentioned it multiple times in the stream. Dude, theoretically, if that was kept, you could 100% battle nations to do friends alone. Like resources, always go to your friends to assist. Gears and bars, who needs the Sovereign Navy when I can just endlessly tap on barracks and vehicle factories, right? If it had been kept that way, either I or I'm sure another YouTuber would have done a can you 100% battle nations through purely your friends list alone. And it would have been a long process, but it definitely would have been possible.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. And so here's the thing. I got this last one on the list. We're gonna, if you're okay with it, go through the list and try to make sure we didn't forget any. Cause I'm not sure if you noticed, but there was 2 points where I did a long pause between questions, and it was those two, we had to, discuss about. So I was just making sure I didn't say them right. So with that being said, you mind if we go through this list after this one last question right here? And
Yeah, absolutely.
awesome. And then we can start taking audience requests. Cause yeah, a lot of people have been asking questions. I know people have just been saying, it's once we get done. And yeah, we're almost done, gentlemen. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do this last question. Completely open-ended, but I would love to hear your personal theory. What is a nanopod?
Yeah. So a nanopod is something that you should definitely not eat. I know it might be tempting. I know that maybe some characters in the game allude to that, but I guarantee it's a bad idea. Do not eat nanopods. Do you understand? Don't eat them. That's all I
My
can say.
my follow-up question to that would be, why did they heal 100 HP in the old Battle Nations? For all units, flesh, meat, raptors, anything, all units could be healed by one nanopod for 100 HP. It sounds like me, nanopods not only should be eaten, but should be a regular part of your diet.
Let's just say that those units did not eat the nanopods.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Well then. All right, and I'm pretty sure we did do most of these, dude. Let's see. In fact, yeah, no, I actually think we did do. I had to skip over them, make sure I didn't answer them because I didn't want to accidentally say that. And yeah, I think we are good to go. Actually, you remember that LA's question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew we had talked about. I was afraid it was one of the two. It wasn't one of the two, right?
Nope.
Yeah, I skipped over it when we were reading. So this will actually be the last question. I think it is a good one to end off to. The nanopod was fun too, but this one I think is also good. What is the dev teams and your current thoughts on the big four legendary animals?
So my personal thoughts are they are awesome,
Yes, sir.
and they will come back, but we don't know when, and
Okay.
also they will likely be rebalanced because I think some of them were a little bit too powerful.
Okay. Okay. That's what I needed to hear. It's just not what I wanted to hear. But that is. Do you remember that legendary mammoth roar, man? Do you remember tapping roar on the legendary mammoth, him raising his trunk going, and then just literally killing everything on the battlefield, half HPing everything else, and then stunning everything?
Yeah,
I don't think I'll ever have a happier moment in Battle Nations than using him for the first time, because oh my gosh, bro. All jokes aside, though, you are 100% right, because if they were released in their form, as they were, dude, they would make the TF2 units look like troopers. They would make the TF2 units look
yeah,
like R1 wimps. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I think it's a little bit damaging to the meta. Like, let's say we had multiplayer. It wouldn't be super interesting if all people used were legendary animals, right, in their old form. So we will be looking at rebalancing them if we when we bring them back.
Dude, awesome, dude, awesome, yeah. And heard. Uh, so yeah, we got a whole bunch of community questions here. You want to jump right into? Would you be cool with jumping right into it?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and just start off with. Let's go ahead with this one right here by. Actually, because yeah, a lot of them are asking kind of, and it's just they're asking, of course, their questions. Some of them are asking for specific times, guys. Unfortunately, we can't give specific times because even though, like we just said, Boris here is one of the main developers at. Still love your content, keep up the work. I appreciate you, Biggie. I'm sorry, I just had to give that man a shout out. He is an awesome goat. He's been supporting Battle Nation since the start. He's one of the guys who also helped me like really get committed to it. So just had to give a special shout out to the Biggie. Appreciate him. And just as I was saying with us, Boris. So yeah, I'm gonna read these questions out just as I read them out in comments. But a lot of them, just from understanding, they're trying to ask times and everything. And again, just want to let you guys know, Boris is one man. He's a great man. He's full time at Madrona, but he can't speak for Madrona, so he can't give a time for releases. He can't give us, details precisely about how this and that is going to be. Of course, you guys are welcome to ask any question, but just understand if Boris denies it, it's nothing personal. It's just because he can't speak on those things. So with all that being said, you mind if I just start throwing them at you, Boris?
Yeah, let's do it.
Dude, awesome, awesome. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. With that being said, we'll start with the first one. Let's see. Rhino Vault Boy asks, will being able to heal units in battle for a nanopod feature come back?
I don't know about that one. I think, in my opinion, and I think in a lot of other people's opinion, that feature was a little bit useless because you would waste a turn and it wouldn't even heal the unit all the way. So I don't know what the designers at Madrona are planning in regards to that, but it would have to, in my opinion, it would have to be rebalanced in order to be compelling.
100%, because also, and at least how I remember it, tell me if I'm wrong because I think you might remember it better than me. I feel like it was super broken early on because all the units have lower HP and you could just immediately, normal, most of them had less than 100 HP, so if you gave them one nano they would immediately jump back to full HP. But once you get later on, as you said, when you're dealing with stuff like mega tanks, legendary animals that have hundreds and hundreds of HP, here's one valuable nanopod to heal like a sixth of your health. Nobody's going to make
Yeah.
that deal. Like you said, it's utterly useless. So completely understandable.
Yeah, in my opinion, the thing that made it super useless was the fact that it took up your turn. So, you have to. I mean, I guess it was a strategic decision whether to heal your unit 100 HP or, attack your opponents for, a bunch of damage. Maybe it was more useful in some battles than other, but overall, in my opinion, it was kind of useless by the time you were, level 70.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm going to totally agree with you on that because yeah, once you get maxed out, there's no real use for it anymore because 100 HP is basically like a sixth or a fraction of the health. Completely understandable. And then, like you said, waste a turn. So, but if it didn't waste a turn, then it would be super pay to win because you could just enter the battle with 1,000 nanopods, and no matter what your opponent does, just boop boop boop, and you'd be unstoppable, right?
Yeah, I didn't even think about the multiplayer angle of this. Like, yeah, I mean, healing your units in multiplayer would be a little difficult to design and make fair.
Oh yeah, and not to mention how.
But
Oh yeah.
but I'm not speaking for Madrona here. I'm just speaking for myself. So
Oh no, completely. And I was just gonna say I felt the same way though. I mean, also just how people would feel. Imagine losing to somebody who used nanopods to heal their units. Just wouldn't feel. Yeah, wouldn't
yeah,
be feeling so good. It's a completely great point. And let's see. Yeah, we're getting a whole bunch of questions. So I appreciate everybody asking questions right now. Feel free to ask a question multiple times. Just obviously don't spam chat, just because I mean they're all coming. I'm just trying to pick them one by one. Of course, Boris, if you see one that you like, by all means, just point it out, and we can certainly answer it. But we'll go ahead.
I still am not. I'm not following the stream chat,
Oh,
so you
okay.
don't have to read any question you want me to answer.
Perfectly fine. Yeah, my bad. I thought you might had it to the side. My apologies on that. Continuing right along, we have a question from AMZ, and that is, any advice for guilds to start doing now to prepare for boss strikes once they start? Or, I'm sorry, to prepare the guilds for once they start in game?
All I can say is save your gold. Guilds will at least somewhat be similar to how they used to be, so you will be able to donate to your guilds. So save your gold, because you'll need the gold to make your guild a higher tier.
So you guys heard that, gentlemen? Gold is not worthless. In fact, once boss strike comes out, imagine all of us are going to be starving for it. So definitely want to start stockpiling now. And dude, yeah, gold's just awesome. Let's see. We have another one here from Max Sally. She asked, will there be an option to buy packs in bulk? And two, when will special value / discounts come back from the OG Battle Nations?
I don't really know anything about that, unfortunately, so I can't really answer that question.
Perfect, fine. Yeah, I apologize. I'm grabbing these questions as I'm gonna might be a little. Oh wait, we got one from Gunvy here. I'm trusting Gunvy off rip. Let's see. He says, what are some ideas being tossed around to improve the friend experience? That's a good one, Gunvy. So yeah, you got anything on that?
Yes. So I think this is similar to something that I do want to talk about, which is a lot of people asking about rejecting encounter assistance. I don't really know if we're going to specifically give you the option to reject your assistance, but we're definitely looking at balancing that aspect of the game where somebody can just steal your encounters and you have nothing to do, nothing that you can do about it except unfriend them. So we are looking at ways of balancing that experience, but I don't know what form that will take.
Awesome. And this is a question that was asked last night, and a lot of people agreed with it. So I just want to see if I get it because it relates precisely to what you said. I'm glad to hear the team, is aware of that issue. Because man, dude, I'm not sure if you know, but dude, since October, everybody has been, getting their infected stolen. It's a big issue for a lot of guilds. And the concern was that Madrona had a vision that you shouldn't be able to deny help. However, I think it's more a factor of you guys just need to, get that back into the game or figure out if you even want to do that back into the game. Would you say that's more fair? It's more just, figuring out if you want to go in that direction rather than just making the decision to not do it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any decision to not do it. I just think that we need to find the right way of balancing it.
Completely understandable. Yeah, you want to make sure. Yeah, there's a lot of balancing to it because if they deny it but the friends still fought it, then it's like, do they get the SP for it? Does the thing disappear? There's a whole can of worms that gets opened up in that. That's a great point. It's another great point. Heard. Let's see. We got a question from Iron Knight. He says, are you think of converting bars to gears or teeth to skull for any such future idea? For example, like a building or like maybe a mechanism, we can convert some tier resources to their same tier resources. Because a lot of people have like bars and they really want gears, or a lot of people get a bunch of teeth and they might want skulls.
We don't really have any plans at this time to do that, but put in the suggestions and we'll think about it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Iron Knight. Just want to let you and everybody else know. The official Battle Nations Discord has a suggestions tab, and you are more than welcome to go in there and write up your best suggestion. Of course, the team will get to it when they can. But if you have an official suggestion to the game, I would highly recommend going into the official Battle Nations Discord and suggesting it over there in suggestions. Alrighty. And continuing, we have another question right here from, I think it's Ezekiel, and he asks, will the Enforcer and Artillery return to the Mercenary Vault during the next level cap increase?
That is a good question. Let's see. So, those two units will not be making a comeback at this time. We still need to think about how we might rebalance them. So, so no, those two units will not be making a comeback at this time.
Okay, completely understandable. And yeah, thank you for answering that. Alrighty. Oh, Pigeon asked a good one. He says, "Will is there any plans for possibly bringing back the idea of double SP and XP weekends or events?"
I don't think there's, it's out of the question, but I haven't been briefed on anything like that, so I don't know.
Awesome, yeah, completely understandable. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to find questions that aren't specifically referring to, a date or, anything of those two questions we had talked about earlier. Alrighty. Let's see. Oh yeah. I know we had talked about gold uses for guilds. Of course, that's going to increase their stock. Is there any future plans to add anything that might make gold more of a necessity?
I think once guilds come out, you're not going to want anything else to take up your gold. But if you had any suggestions, like I said, put them in the suggestion box, and we'll think about it.
Dude, heard that? Yeah, man. Because I think you're kind of right. Once we get guilds back, everybody's gonna want to just dump the gold into guilds, 1,000,000,000%. Let's see. Dennis asked, Boris, how did you get such a big beard as you do? And I gotta admit, dude, that's like a Kenny Loggins level build. That's the kind of beard I try to grow out, and this is all I get. Like, legitimately nothing. So, yeah, dude, how do you grow such a cool beard?
Well, believe it or not, I actually didn't think I could grow a beard, but I just stopped cutting it, and eventually it got this big. So, I'm 38 years old. I think I stopped cutting it when I was like in my early 30s. So this is like 6 to 8 years of growth right here. So it's all about time.
Oh, dude, heard that, man. And yeah, Drip, I was able to find your question. I just had to scroll for it. And it is, I believe this is the correct one. Let me know if not. But it is, this comes from, of course, Drip Chicken. He is a guild leader, and he asked if there is a way to set up formations for easier grinding. And I think this isn't like a developer question. This is like, more of a personal question for you, Boris, as an OG, skilled player.
So I think it's talking about battle setup and how the units are organized in your unit list. We are looking at ways to improve the battle setup experience. There's a lot of ways we can go with this. I'm not sure if we're going to go the route of like favorite units or formations or anything like that, but we are definitely thinking about improving the battle setup experience. So sorry to be vague, but it's just thoughts at this time.
Dude, no, perfectly fine, perfectly fine. Let's see. And I just want to confirm this because we're getting a bunch of questions about it. I just want to clarify it with chat. We can't really talk, and I really, I want to make sure, I be as careful as I can here. We don't want to talk about anything with promo or anything of the sort, correct?
In terms of promo units, there's only a little bit I can say about that, but yeah, generally.
Exactly.
You can ask the question.
Oh, heard, yeah. And then, yeah, because chat has been asking a bunch of questions regarding promo units. I just want to let chat know right here. I'm not ignoring them. I'm seeing every single one of them. Just Boris is obviously having to work with the team because that is a very, obviously, you guys know you're asking a bunch of questions. That's something the Battle Nation community really wants, and that's something Boris can't take the lead on. He has to converge with his team, and they have to make that decision as a team. So he can't speak for all of them. That's the only reason we're not answering any question about promo units. But like Boris said, we still can't ask them, but if he dances around them, that's why. So we'll just go ahead and I'll ask Joss's question, the most recent one right here. And he asked, are there any promo units you're not going to bring back definitively?
I don't think there's any promo unit that we're not going to bring back necessarily. It's just that a lot of them do or will need to be balanced to make sure that they're not either too powerful or irrelevant.
Heard. So yeah, not really necessarily, just completely deleting a unit from existence, more or less just making sure the entire game stays balanced. Awesome. Fantastic. Alrighty. So continuing right along, what is the timeline for PvP, and is there a focus on bringing real-time PvP or formation PvP back first?
So yeah, we are definitely planning to bring PvP back. It's one of our main focuses for the future. Obviously, we want guilds and boss strikes to come first before that. But then afterwards, I think we will be focusing on some version of PvP. I don't quite know if it's going to be synchronous or asynchronous PvP. So yeah, stay tuned.
Dude, awesome. Glad to hear that. AMZ asks, will Madrona be more active on YouTube in the video? Basically like Z2 War, showing a life in the day of Madrona, maybe just their developers hanging out and whatnot. And actually, I think we can kind of, if I had to say, maybe if you guys were more full-time, but again, it's not really, it's just too part-time, I would say, to do that. But, I mean, would you say there's anything more to that, Boris?
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think we would like to do stuff like that, but everybody's just so focused on developing right now. And, it's all hands on deck, let's bring this game back. So aside from these, curated Q&As that I do, we don't really have a lot of time to produce anything ourselves right now.
Oh, dude, absolutely. And yeah, so again, great question, AMZ, and I think it was just like, like you absolutely just said as well. Z2 had an office, you know what I mean? Like, they had this whole building. Somebody could just turn a camera on and, walk through their office, and, like, it was a YouTube video in and of itself, right? They did that for multiple dev interviews. But the problem is, since most of you guys, are part-time and, all across the country, it would be hard to, record a video here, record a video there, and, like, most of you guys don't have times where I guess you would meet up since it's also part-time. It would just be harder to do. So completely understandable. But again, great idea, AMZ. I see what you're going for. I think they might want to. It's just they legitimately can't right now. It's not like Z2 was with one big apartment. One big, building complex with everybody there. All right. Continuing right along, we have, let's see, and I'm just gonna read these out. Of course, if you can't answer or can't have to answer part, perfectly fine. Why what did we stop at level 49 a cap? Was it because of AS being a fragment in a boss strike?
I'm not exactly sure about the reasons why we stopped at 49, but 50 is, kind of like a break point where, there's a bunch of content that needs to be tested and maybe implemented. So 49 was just kind of like the maximum level cap we can do without going into a whole bunch of extra work for the level 50 features.
Oh, dude, fantastic. Glad to hear that. Would you say then in that case, it would be more fair to say, or and I want to get that clarification. It was because, like, Mega Tank, the Railgun, all these different troopers, several shops. There is, like, so much stuff in level 50, it's like 5 levels in one.
Yeah, I think so. Not to mention all the missions and new encounters and things like that. I don't know if you remember from the last interview I did mention how, the way that we prepare for these level cap increases is, we need to, look through those levels, test them out, make sure there isn't, anything that's, unimplemented, make sure there isn't anything, like new there that we have to work on. And we have to test all these missions, right? So there's a lot of testing effort that goes on as well. So, level 49 was just like a good natural place to go to give you guys some of the content, but not everything that level 50 has.
Oh, dude, completely understandable. I think most of the community appreciates that, dude. That's awesome. Oh, this one's a good one from Nicholas. Is there any plans to increase or change at all the odds of bosses like the AC, Dreadnought, and Kraken?
I would say it's not out of the question, but we don't have specific plans right now.
Dude, completely understandable. I heard that. Let's see. Another one from Rhino Vault Boy. He asked, Uh, just like there was in the Patreon, will they make Battle Nation stuff like shirts, statues, T-shirts, and Nanopod keychains?
We don't have any plans to introduce any more physical merch right now. That's really all I can say.
Oh, dude, completely understand. Yeah, you can't really talk about because that's the marketing. That's huge. Completely understandable. And that's smart. Absolutely. Let's see. Um, oh yeah, we got another one from Dennis right here, and he says, let's see. You don't have to, Boris, but it would be cool to end stream by hearing your musical talent. The piano in the background. Okay. Boris, would you feel comfortable doing that? Would you be cool with that?
I can certainly try. I gotta say that this piano has been in storage for over a year at this point. I just brought it back with me from Arkansas to Seattle. So I can try, but I am probably extremely rusty. So if you remind me at the end of the stream, I can try to play something.
Dude, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm just going off what we had talked about a little bit ago, because I'm watching your time, because I'm not sure if you're on a strict time schedule, even if you are, I'm watching for you. We're currently 1 hour, 15 minutes in the stream right now, and we said we can go for 2 hours, is that correct? So we have 45 minutes left?
That's right.
Fantastic, awesome. So yeah, would you want to maybe unlock the last like 10 or 5 minutes with some musical talent?
I'll give it a try.
Dude, that's going to be, dude, we're going to have Boris here playing like Mozart level piano, dude. It's gonna be amazing. Stay tuned.
Oh, you want Mozart? Okay. All right. We'll try Mozart.
He actually knows Mozart. That's insane. I was saying that as a joke, and he actually knows it, bro. It's gonna be so good. Another Battle Nations question: is there any way to support the team other than buying nanopods?
If you haven't checked out the Patreon, I highly recommend checking that out because I think you get a slightly better rate on your money for nanos through Patreon. We appreciate all your support. Buying nanos is great. Patreon is great. Even being active on the Discord and being a member of the community is great. If you could, share the game with your friends and family. I think, in my personal opinion, the number one way to make the game grow is to have more players trying it out. And I think the game speaks for itself. If you have somebody try it out and they're even remotely interested in the genre, they're going to get hooked. So I would say, tell all your friends and family about it, share your passion with them, and as we get more players, we'll be able to do more and more things development wise.
Dude, awesome. Glad to hear that. Very happy to hear that. Dude, fantastic. Very next question, followed by Ezekiel says, is the Southern Frontier music licensed or an original track? The other game tracks are licensed.
I really don't know anything about that, unfortunately.
Completely understandable. All good. Appreciate you just admitting it upright, too. Very next question comes from NASA, and he asks, any current plans on anything special with nano pricing? Discounts, bundles, anything of the sort? Of course, we know you can't speak, but just anything of the mind.
We don't have any plans right now, but I think, it's possible.
Yeah, just whenever it comes up, absolutely. Aside from the updates coming this month, will there be any more updates within 2025?
Yes.
Heard. Okay, heard. Yeah, again, no clue, but there will be updates in 2025. Dude, that's all I needed, dude. That's all I needed. Heard that. Let's go. All right. So, we got another one from Gunvi. It says, on that note of getting new players, are there any plans to improve the early game experience?
Yes. I know that, I'm not sure, I don't know how much I can talk about, but we definitely are thinking about the new player experience from multiple angles, and it just, it's something that we have to work on, and we just have a lot of plans right now. So I'm not really sure about things like timeline or anything like that.
Yeah, dude, completely understandable, dude. But yeah, dude, chat's really excited about more updates in 2025, dude. We were already excited about level 48.9, but yeah, dude, that's gonna be pretty freaking cool. Or that, yeah, no dates. Just the only confirmed date we can give is again October 17th. We are getting 3 more levels to the game. That's already been announced by Madrona. So keep an eye out for that, along with try to do as many black nanopods as you can in October, because again, this is our Halloween event. It's super cool, and I would say, yeah, mainly focus on grinding black nanopods and keep an eye out for October 17th when we get 3 more levels. Continuing right along, we have Ezekiel again. He asked, Are there any ways we could signal to friends' buildings we would like to be assisted, like maybe a decal or something not missable?
Yeah, so if you go into decorations and you scroll a little bit, there's actually a sign that has a little assistance icon on it and an arrow. And there's a couple more signs in the decorations menu that you can use. If you go to my land, if you're my friend, you can see that I use those signs to indicate to people that I'd like them to help out my, what was that building called? The one that converts like bars into laurels and gears into widgets.
Oh, it's slipping my mind as well. I know exactly what you're talking about,
Refinement
though.
facility,
The
right?
refinement.
The refinement facility.
Right.
So yeah, so I have a bunch of arrows pointing to the refinement facility, asking people to assist that. So in my opinion, you just use those signs. A lot of people have been using flower arrangements to kind of like put different symbols on their map regarding what they want assisted, what they don't want assisted. So I would say flower arrangements or those signs in the decorations menu would be the best way.
Dude, awesome, awesome. So yeah, just decorations that are already in the game or the signs, absolutely. Ooh, Pigeon's got a good one. He asked, are there any Christmas plans you could possibly lightly discuss, like maybe bringing back the potential Rudolph the Red-Nosed Raptor mission line, which I'm not sure if you remember was a one-time. All it was a regular battle raptor with the red nose, and you had to go through this whole Jubilee charity event for him. I loved him because, in my opinion, he was perfect. He was just a regular battle raptor with a red nose, adorable. And he's asking, yeah, him specifically. But yeah, is there any chance to bring him back or any other Christmas events?
I haven't heard anything about Christmas or any holidays beyond Halloween. Like I said, we're like super focused on like guilds and the cap increase right now, so I haven't personally heard anything. But I don't say it's out of the question. It might happen. I just don't think we have any plans at this time.
Heard that. Heard that. Completely understandable. Ooh, it's a good one. What is your favorite infected unit?
My favorite infected unit. That's a good question. Um, I like them all. I think the crawler is like very interesting in terms of like the art design. But I can't decide if I like that or the cannoneer, who is like the guy has a cannon sticking out of his chest. I mean, how hilarious is that, right? Um, I don't know. I like all of them. I like the what's the guy with the blade for an arm? Is that the stalker?
Stalker. Stalker, correct.
Yeah, that guy's pretty cool. I think it's hilarious that half his arm is missing when he does his attack. Um, but I don't know. I like them all. I like the whole concept as a concept. I think it's really really fun. You kind of get to give some old units that may not be relevant anymore, like some extra life. Thematically, I think it's really great because it's kind of like this whole entire game, if you think about it like story-wise, is like playing with the idea that evil is funny, right? So
Absolutely.
like the fact that we're part of an empire with like a tyrant as an emperor, and Morgan is this alcoholic who doesn't care about his people. I mean, all of it is like this like dystopian humor, right? And I think that that the infected really fits well with this dystopian kind of like humor that the game has. So I like all the units. I think they're all hilarious, and I think it's hilarious that instead of healing your sick units, you can like do experiments on them, and they're already suffering, right? They already got defeated in battle. They probably have battle wounds, and instead of helping them, you're just like infecting them. And I really love when the game plays with morality like that and kind of makes it a joke. So I like all of them. Sorry for the cop out answer.
Dude, that's perfect. No, that's legitimately perfect. You went through, I'd say, the details of every single one of them. Perfect answer, man. For me, it was probably always the Apex Colossal, but now I'm a little bit tempted to say the Shredder because I'm not sure if you saw, but literally on the Twitch account, the one you blessed, that one time you were in chat, I got my first ever infected on it in stream, and you know what I pulled first try? An Arc 4 Shredder. I was like, bro. And at level 23, you were absolutely right. It is literally cheating. I went through my last stream. I did the entire TF2 storyline with just that one Shredder. Like, literally that one. Dude, it was cheating. It felt like cheating. It was amazing, though. I think that was the closest we'll ever get to having a legendary animal back in modern day Battle Nations.
Yeah, you were so lucky. I have still never gotten an archetype shredder. I got an advanced shredder, but I do have two archetype cannoneers, which I'm very, very happy about. but I wasn't really ever able to get that shredder, and it was really fun seeing you basically wreck the entire level 20. Was it 23?
Oh, 23, correct.
Yeah, the level 23 encounters, you're just wrecking them, and that was really fun to see. I think as a dev, it's always really, really fun to see players figure something out that feels like cheating, but it's actually part of the game and it's not cheating. That's always like a really good experience for the player and a really fun thing to watch as a developer.
Dude, awesome, man, dude. And again, we were obviously I'm super biased, definitely along my chat, but we all kind of agreed it was a great idea to make the archetypes for all levels because right now there might be level 20s, 30s who are obsessed with the game, right? They just have college, they have work, they really want to play Battle Nations and they want to get the best infected units. But there may be level only 15, level 25, level 35, and they want archetype units, obviously for the upcoming month. So you guys making it where they can get every one of them now any level can come in as long as they got 5 nanopods infected facility can try their hand at
Well,
those infected.
I actually think that there are some level caps for some of the infected units.
Heard.
I'm not sure exactly what they are, but a lot of them have suspiciously low level caps. So um, yeah, I think there are level caps, but I just don't know what they are.
Okay, and I might be mistaken. Just last when that stream happened, I was told that it was a 10% chance to get an arc share for level 40s and above in the old Battle Nations, and all they had changed was that no longer it was 40 and above. But again, that might have been wrong. So and that was just why I thought it was so overpowered. Heard, but yeah, it does have weird level caps, and I'll double check those. Awesome. Let's see. Uh, Shoo. Uh, um, I want to read this out. I just want to clarify this, but AMZ asked, "What will happen after you use up Z2 content, new story, artworks, music, and onward?" Isn't didn't we ask that in the main list?
Yeah, the main idea is we have really big plans for the future of Battle Nations after we restore it to its original glory. I did tease the what was the faction name that we're thinking of bringing back? It
The
was
oh yeah, go ahead.
Mountain League,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, I just remember
Oh
MM.
yeah, yeah. So we did tease the Mountain League, which is something we're thinking of bringing back as a fully fledged faction and mission line. Um, but obviously that's after we bring it back. So,
Dude, awesome.
the rest of the Battle Nations, I mean.
Completely understandable. Heard that. Continuing right along, we have an answer from Nicholas Kamas. Glad to hear, man. We are having a great stream. And we have a question from Nicholas, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but just thought it's funny. I would want to ask it. Is Madrona Games looking for high-end investors that can buy in stock?
We are not. We are like very, very proud, like I said, of the organic growth the game has had, and we're also proud of the fact that we are, in a sense, independent, and that we don't have like a big venture capital firm backing us. We're not really interested in, bringing on anything like venture capital because we want to maintain our creative control of the game.
Awesome, dude. Perfect. And of course, if you guys ever decide to, I think you guys, far off, but if you ever did an IPO, I would buy the company. Everybody would buy the company. He, she, me, buy stock in Madrona Games. That would go hard. That would be awesome. W private company. Yeah, all jokes aside, though, it is amazing to have a private company because, like you said, you're not beholden to any banks, shareholders, and anything like that. You guys have full creative control. And even though I just joked about, us buying stock, while that would be fun, it would also mean that institutions could get in there and control the game, which is, something that could possibly, be scary. So the fact that you guys are in full control, dude, I love that because, I trust you guys fully. The fact that Madrona Games, not only got this game to come back, the rare one shot we talked about, but the fact that it's just such an amazing team, dude. I really do love Madrona. I really don't think they could be doing better, bro. The merchandise came in perfectly. They have been so responsible to the community. You guys do interviews like the one you're doing right here. You didn't have to do this, but you still offered. I'm greatly appreciative. I think this chat is greatly appreciative. So again, just wanted to thank you guys for that. But yeah, no, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. And now everybody in the comments right now is just talking about whether or not it should be a private company or if they want stocks. It's just that little discussion. But yeah, no, guys, we want a control. We want control within Madrona to stay within Madrona. Alrighty. Continuing right along, we have, let's see. And of course, guys, you can ask any questions you want. I can't say that we'll get them answered, but assuming it doesn't go any content, we certainly can do it. Let's see. Ava, let's said, can Boris speak to how big of a priority prestige and prestige units will become when moving to level 50 and beyond.
Yeah, I think prestige is definitely something that we're thinking of adding sooner rather than later. Um, but right now we're pretty focused on guilds and the level cap increase. But I agree. I think prestige is important.
Awesome. Alrighty. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen the marketing so far. I do believe it would be a good idea to, let's see, have future marketing bring in new players and importantly any remaining features. Any plans for balance changes in the early game. So of course we already talked about that earlier. You said, once we get multiplayer, it'd be smarter to do marketing because obviously then marketing would have more of an incentive, bring your friends, battle your friends, that type of thing. But the last part of that is pretty interesting. Any plans for balance changing. So take something like the legendary animals or maybe even a weaker unit, right? Something people want back but just could not fit into the game. Is there maybe not even definitive, nerfs or buffs, but like, is there any guidelines or systems you might like want to follow or be interested in following for the first little bit?
Yeah, so like I said before, we're definitely looking at improving the new player experience. For example, right now, if you play through the tutorial, it isn't immediately obvious that you can drag the crosshair in battle. So that's one thing that I think, are looking to make a little bit more clear in the first couple of minutes of gameplay. And obviously, we are thinking about other things as well, but I don't have anything specific other than that.
Completely understandable. Heard that. Appreciate that. Let's see. Kamas asks, I'm not sure if this has been asked, but what other units outside of the medium tank could be changed from nano to non-nano?
Right now, the medium tank is the only one that we're planning on doing. Um, I don't think there's really going to be a lot of changes here.
Heard. Awesome. Let's see. Question: will the medium tank get an SP restart when it becomes a free-to-play unit? Oh yeah, no, take your time.
Sorry, the cats opened the door.
Dude,
What was the question?
Oh yeah, no, you're completely fine, man. Yeah, Boris got the 4 cats, so you know how the cats be. All good. Yeah, it was just a question of when medium tanks are added back into the game, will their SP be reset when they become free units?
That is a good question. Um, Personally, I think that would be a little bit frustrating to players. So I personally wouldn't do it, but I really haven't had any discussions about it with anybody. So it could happen, it could not happen, but I don't think it's a good idea personally.
Completely understandable. Heard that. Let's see. Ooh, this is a. Let's see another one from AMC. Uh, let's see. Yeah, this comes from AMZ. Will guilds be introduced next year? May have missed that bit. No, so yeah, and could be wrong here, but I think they're currently being worked on. But of course, the priority right now, and the only thing definitively set in stone right now is October 17th, the 3 levels, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
We're working as fast as we can to bring you guilds. I would personally be disappointed if it took us longer than the rest of this year to do guilds. I think it's going to be, sooner than that, but obviously anything can happen.
Heard. Completely understandable. This one comes from Dustabin. He asked, does Madrona have any strategies in writing or designing new content so it stays true to the original flavor? I would say, I would say kind of maybe even in the sense of the plasma tank, plasma man, and the diamond tank. Both those look perfect. They look like they're from Z2. But I think he was really asking, is there any like strategies or like guidelines for making these units? Because I don't know who made those, but both those units came out perfect. They looked like they belonged in Battle Nations. You know what I mean? So what is the guideline? I guess you could say the regulation for making a new unit to make sure it looks like it fits within this universe.
That would be more of a question for the artists and the designers. I trust them. I think that they're smart and careful people who take a lot of these factors into account. But I haven't specifically talked to them about any plans or anything like that,
Heard.
or any strategies even.
Heard. Completely understandable. All right. And Ezekiel asked, when the medium tank goes free, will players who bought them for nanos get a refund?
I don't know. I haven't asked, but yeah, no idea.
Completely understandable. Yeah, just one of the things they got to talk with the team. That's a pretty big thing. Let's see. Are there any plans to rebalance units that are currently out or too weak? Yes, as we of course talked about. Some units are too powerful, like the legendaries. Some units are too weak and they're not viable. There will be balance changing once more things have been added.
Yeah, and for units that are currently released, I don't think it's out of the question to have balance changes. Just remember that we're focusing on other things first.
Completely understandable. Ooh, this is a good one from Ezekiel. Are there any plans or ideas behind maybe a base designer tool for your main base?
I don't know about a base designer, but we are definitely thinking about ways to improve the base design experience for sure.
Heard. All right, and see, Black Membrane asked a question. Troop integration limit increase when? And I'm not exactly sure what that means. The only thing I mean is like there's a 36,000 limit cap on all units, but like I don't think he's referring to that because that's pretty high.
I think he is referring to that. I think Black Membrane is the person who wants to have 100,000 of a particular unit type, and you currently can't. Um, we do eventually want to make sure that limit is a little bit higher, but it's not a priority right now.
Okay, so yeah. Oh, dude, that's crazy. So yeah, somehow you're one of the people who has 36,000 of a unit. Increase coming, but it's not top priority because a lot of people don't have it.
Yeah, I think the max is less than that. Let's see. Let's see what the max actually
Oh, bet.
is. 32,767 ish
Heard.
is the limit.
And if I might ask, is that?
So
I was just gonna say, yeah, is that a coding thing? Because it sounds like that was like such a random number. It sounds like code might have maybe decided that.
yeah, it's the int 16 type limit. So that's all I can say about that.
Oh, completely understandable. Heard that. All right. Let's see. Yeah.
So yeah, if you have 32,000 of a particular unit, I would really recommend not making any more.
Yeah. And if you have 32,000 unit, maybe try, training some more other units. Because I think you got enough of that unit, right? I don't think you're going to go into your hospital one day and have 32,000 of that unit sitting there.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Crazy. Any plans for a favorites tabs? So we don't have to scroll for our units and we could just star them like in some other games?
So I answered this a little bit earlier. We are thinking of ways to improve the battle setup experience. I'm not sure what form that'll take exactly, whether that's a favorites tab or whether we save formations or something that's maybe battle dependent somehow. We're kind of thinking about different ways we could improve it, and we will eventually do something to improve it, but it's just we're just thinking about it for now.
Dude, heard that. Yeah, and yeah, Black Membrane. He reacted to you saying that, saying no, he was depressed, and you were absolutely right because he said, "I will one day have 100K wimps," and mark my words. So yeah, he is determined on that. Heard that. Okay, this one it's kind of. I think we already kind of discussed. We really talk. We can't talk about, but it's in an angle we might want to try to play with. So, King Dorigan, he asked, any plans for a simultaneous promotion event or any type to come along with the first boss strike?
I don't think there are any plans at this time for that.
Completely understandable. And honestly, the first boss strike is going to be an event of itself. I think I understand was asking maybe like a troop or something. But like, bro, once we get boss strikes back, I don't care about promo units. I'm going to be caring about that boss strike, especially dominating that first one. Come on now. So yeah, completely understandable there. Let's see. Yeah. ASG, he asked, but he even said disregard if already asked. He says, does Madrona anticipate going past level 70 eventually? I think we talked about that in future content. Of course, once we get there, that's the biggest thing. But even then, it's just, taking it with the team and seeing where the game is at that point.
I think for sure we're definitely planning on eventually, raising the level cap past 70. It kind of goes along with our, with the previous question about, what plans we have after we bring it back to the way it was. We definitely have a lot of big plans, and part of that is increasing the level cap. But I don't really know exactly what form that will take and exactly when that will happen, but we are planning for that.
Heard that, completely understandable. We have one from Archangel04, and he asks, are there any plans to make a barracks, vehicle factory, or docks have a queuing system like hospitals? Either an advanced version of these buildings you could pay for nanopods and train multiple units at a time, or an upgrade for the regulars when hitting a certain level.
I haven't heard of that one before. Yeah, put it in suggestions and we'll think about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because yeah, I haven't heard of that either, Archangel04, but that's a really good one. I would highly suggest going over to the Battle Nations main Discord server and suggesting that one. Because yeah, I could totally see an advanced, vehicle factory, advanced barracks, where you can queue up units to train. That would be awesome. Let's see. Any perspective on what would be considered too strong as a boss drop, such as snakes, gunships, etc.?
I don't really know. I mean, obviously, before we release any new units, we will consider balancing them if they seem, out of balance, too powerful, or something like that. But I haven't heard any specific plans.
Heard that. Understood. We're going right to Josh, and he asked, when promotional units come out, will they come out in the same order the original be in, or will Madrona customize their own order for, the leveling of the game, the current situation of the game, and go through a level that would make sense for Madrona? Or do you think they might try to hold on to, the spec ops first, and then go down that list, and the first, limited edition aircraft would, I guess, have to be the anti-flank aircraft, because yeah, that was the first in the vehicle factory. So yeah, trying to follow that list, or like your own list of what would make sense at the time.
I don't really know. I don't think we want to be like beholden to the way it was done before. So I wouldn't expect that, but I don't really have any specific plans, so I don't really know.
Completely understandable. This one comes from Kamas. He asked, question for Boris. What was a fun/funny behind-the-scenes error that popped up during development that may have been coding, lost stuff, etc.?
If you go to the Madrona website and you look for my dev diary, Boris's dev diary, and you scroll down, you'll see some pretty funny stages of the animation system that we developed. And there was like one where the unit was like back to front. It was just like all wrong. There was one where the units were upside down. There's some funny in progress animations there for you to look at.
Dude, awesome. Heard that, dude. And honestly, yeah, that sounds pretty fun, man. I kind of want to go check out your diary. You say, yeah, I can find it on the Madrona Games website?
Yeah, just search for Boris's dev diary.
Heard that.
Just like in Google.
Oh, heard, absolutely. Let's see. And this one comes from Black Membrane again. He asked, is there plans to allow us to fully expand our outpost, or will expansions remain limited with a certain level cap?
Yes, we are thinking of ways to expand the land that the player has to work with, but there's nothing specific at this time. We're just thinking about different options of how to do that.
Fantastic. This is a good one from Pepe. How many people work at Madrona? And of course, since it's part-time, I know it may be more of a rough estimate, but yeah, just, how many people would you say work at Madrona?
I think it's somewhere around 10 people. Most of whom are, doing this on their free time.
Heard, yeah. I didn't even realize you guys were that small of a team. That's, bro, yeah. My Wednesday study group is larger than that, and we all fit in a room. Dang, man, heard. You guys do all of this with 10 people, dog? That's, dang.
Like I said, some of us, like Andrew, we basically, well, at least Andrew and James, they hardly ever sleep, because they're working so hard on their free time to bring this game back.
Wow, dude. Yeah, 10, that's insane. That's crazy. Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. I think a lot of us just got cultural shocked from learning there's only 10 in Madrona. Like, at least me personally, I knew it was a small team, but like, dude, yeah, props to all of you, because like, I wouldn't have believed that. If somebody had told me that, but it wasn't you, Boris, I would have been like, no, man, dude, Madrona has done too much for it to be 10 people. That's not humanly possible. Indie dev company, for real. For real, indeed. Any plans to let us upgrade the collecting buildings, like the orchard, supply drops, and the ancient artifact?
That is a new one. That's something that I would recommend you put in suggestions for sure.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, again, another good suggestions. Just go over to the Battle Nations main Discord and again drop that in suggestions because we'd love to hear it. Just got to get to the right people. So yeah, Battle Nations main Discord server, and it's gonna be to tab suggestions. And let's see, 10 goats for real, for real. Absolutely. W Madrona Games. Yeah, dude, everybody, 10 people, man. Does that include yourself?
It's a rough estimate. It could be a little bit more. It might be like 11 or 12, but it's around 10.
Around 10, yeah. Still, man, dude. Wow, dude. Congratulations, because that's legit though. Impressive, man. Wow.
Thank you.
Is there any is there a number for how many people are playing Battle Nations at this moment that you can give? For example, 10,000, 20,000 at this moment? Like, and not like, online, but like, playing Battle Nations like actively, enjoying it.
Yeah, I think it's around that number, somewhere around 20,000. I think would be a safe estimate, but I'm not 100% sure.
All right. Did the original Battle Nations have like millions? Because like we've talked about that in stream before, and I think it did have like millions when accounted for Steam, Android, and iOS. I think it had millions of downloads.
Well, Battle Nations originally came out on iOS, and we were basically number one in the charts for a while in the Apple App Store. So that really drove a lot of players to play Battle Nations. So yeah, we had millions of players even in 2011.
Wow. So when we of course we always talk about this when we say we're in the early stages of this, to achieve peak Battle Nations. Honestly, I've said this before. I think we're going to pass peak Battle Nations because Battle Nations is such a good game, and especially the modern state of gaming. Battle Nations is like a beacon on a hill, bro. It is so good compared to everything else out there, at least in my opinion, man. But that is crazy to think that even in 2011 we had millions of Battle Nations players, and right now we're like at 10,000, 20,000.
Yep.
This party hasn't even. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say this party hasn't even gotten started, bro.
Exactly.
Heard that. NASA coming in with another question. He asked, "Are guilds going to be capped at 100 members permanently?" Sorry if you've already confirmed this. Just curious.
I don't think they're necessarily capped permanently. It's something we'll have to look at as time goes on and as players give us feedback and we get our own feedback. So I don't think we're like 100% beholden to that. So just stay tuned.
Awesome. A game question from Ezekiel. So this isn't really a developer, just a game question. How exactly is dodge work? So, does a dodge of 35% mean my unit will have a 35% chance of dodging an attack each time?
That would be a good question to ask the server programmer. I don't really know. I think the wiki has some pretty decent explanations of how the battle logic works. I can share a link with you guys later, a wiki link that has a lot of these good calculations, but I don't know personally.
Completely understandable. AMZ says, I think I was on iPad 1 back in the day. Dude, the fact that all those old Apple products could run Battle Nations too. Whoa.
You have no idea how much special case OpenGL code Z2 had to write to get it to be able to display, all those buildings on your land, because you got to understand that, when you expand it to like 100% of the expansions at level 70, you can have a lot of different buildings on your land at the same time, like hundreds of buildings, all with their own animations, right? So Z2 did a lot in the code to make sure that they ran fast and, you could have all of them at the same time on the screen. On those old 2011 phones. So I'm not going to name drop who did all that work, but the guy was a genius, and he did a lot of good work making sure that both Trade Nations and Battle Nations could display all those animations simultaneously.
Because I'm thinking about it now, I can think of similar games to Battle Nations on modern day PCs that run slowly, or won't work if you don't have high process. How did they even make Battle Nations work in 2011, bro? Like, that guy, he's on Satoshi Nakamoto's level of, IQ when it comes to design and program. Because the fact that he made Trade Nations and Battle Nations work back in 2011 with those devices, I was on iPhone 3 at the time. Everybody's just talking about their old, devices they played it with. He was on a different level. Again, you didn't name drop him, so I can't praise his name directly. But yeah, he definitely was a genius, dude.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Keeping it look. Oh yeah. This one is just. I think this person is just asking for concern more than anything. Is 10 people? Is that sustainable? Are you guys looking to expand the team to maybe take off some pressure from some of the more harder worked people? I think he's more asking just like yeah, that sounds like you guys have done so much. We all assumed you guys were a much longer team, so just is there any plans to maybe expand to like take some of the pressure off you and other people, or maybe even get more people full time like you, so they're no longer part time, they can focus their full time energy on Madrona?
Yeah, absolutely. As you just mentioned, Madrona just, got to a position where they could convert me to full time. So, as more players join and more players, buy nanos and join the Patreon, we will, have more ability to hire more people. But that is completely dependent, of course, on some of those, you know, targets. So the team is growing slowly, but we just have to make sure that we're growing in a sustainable way.
Heard that absolutely. And I know I've said this before, but I really just want to say because this is a touchy one, but if you have to reject it, perfectly fine. Um, but you mentioned previously that Patreon gives you a slightly better rate of nanos than the in-app store, and that's true. And this question commenter was asking, is the Patreon a slight benefit for nanos because Android, Steam, and Apple take a larger cut than maybe Madrona? Basically saying, is going to Patreon good for long term, or should they be able to say buy anywhere for any amount?
We appreciate all the different platforms that we have for monetization. I can't really speak to any rates or anything like that. But for the player, Patreon does provide a slightly better rate on nanos. So I think that's the angle that I really want to touch on is, I think Patreon is a slightly better deal for you guys. So, you know, but we appreciate all of our, different platforms.
Absolutely, yeah. Just to confirm, guys, all official platforms, whether you're playing on Steam, Android, Apple, or even donating through the Patreon, any way you purchase nanopods is supporting Madrona Games through their official channels. Whether you're playing on iOS, Android, Steam, whatever. If you're buying nanopods, if you're supporting the Patreon, you are supporting the team, and this team of 10 people, somehow 10 people, is doing unbelievable work. So of course, every little bit is appreciated, just anyway. But he was just saying, for the player, if you want a slight benefit, of course, do the Patreon, just because that would give you guys a little bit more nanos. Let's see, we have another question. Let's see, back in Z2 days, how many employees were there at the peak? That's a good question.
Well, you have to remember that Z2 had a whole bunch of games.
True.
For example, I don't know if you heard of Metal Storm, which was a game that Z2 had previously. So we had a lot of people at Z2 who were working on various projects at various times. When I was working there, the Battle Nations team was maybe slightly larger than the Madrona team is now, the Z2 team. Whereas here at Madrona, we're still mostly doing it on our free time.
Heard that absolutely. Um, yeah, because they had a whole catalog, yeah, of so many games. Battle Nations was just one of them. Z2 was a juggernaut back then. Is Tank Tactics still being developed, still being worked on in a correlation with Battle Nations? And is there maybe like a plan to be like Z2 and have a whole bunch of different IPs, or is there like a lock in at Madrona, like we only want to do Battle Nations and have Tank Tactics on the side, but no more outside of those two? Or is there like maybe one day we might want to go to multiple?
So right now, we're obviously focusing all of our efforts on Battle Nations. We have so much that we need to do on Battle Nations, so many plans, so many things that we need to implement that we're not really even thinking about other games at this point. But it's certainly not out of the question for the future.
Awesome, dude, awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to hear you're focusing on Battle Nations too. I think we all appreciate that, certainly. And oh, and of course, this will be another follow-up question just with that. Um, if hypothetically, those were to happen, let's say, Tank Tactics gets its own player base, you guys make a third, fourth, get a whole catalog, right? Could we possibly see Madrona points make a return and stuff like the Humvee and other vehicles like that come back in Battle Nations, where you could earn Madrona points in Tank Tactics and other games like that, and then spend your Madrona points in Battle Nations?
I think that would be cool, but I don't know if we have any specific plans about that at this point.
Heard. Completely understandable. Completely understandable. Let's see. We have. Let's see. Any plans for the future of the Battle Nations story? I know you guys said you want to continue it, but do you guys have any dialogues besides the MMs that you're also looking into?
So broadly, we definitely will be continuing, the missions and the story and all that stuff after we, bring it back. Um, but I'm not really involved with that at this point, so I don't really know.
Oh, completely understandable. Pretty sure I know the answer on this one, but just want to ask it because Farah is, completely understandable. Will Madrona recreate, or in the future recreate, Trade Nations, Mortal Storm, or any other Z2 IPs?
Very doubtful. Like I said, we're 100% focused on Battle Nations right now, so we're not really even thinking of that.
Heard. Completely understandable. Completely understandable. Um, and Heard. We have 6 minutes left, so I just wanted to ask if you would like to end us off with piano. That would be lovely, if you're still down for that.
All right, let's see if I can. Does this move? I don't think this moves. I think I'm gonna have to literally do this.
Oh, you're good.
You guys see that? I think that's all I can move my setup right here.
Dude, you're perfectly fine.
Yeah. Let's see if I can play some. You guys wanted Mozart, right?
Oh, yes, sir. All right, Jim, we're about to get Mozart up in here. Full volume. Oh, are you playing it, my man?
I'm trying.
Oh, yeah, just no sounds coming through. Because I think your voice cancellation might be too good.
Oh, that's probably Discord, huh?
Yeah, it might just be Discord.
Let's see, what if I do this? Microphone right here.
Hurt. Mind if I ask one last question while we're getting this bad boy plugged up?
Sure.
Okay, because I do have to admit, it is a good question from Soldier Boy. He asked, is there any potential way of allowing guild leaders to reserve guild names before they come out for maybe AP's guild, my guild, and a few other popular guilds like Sparta and whatnot?
I don't really know.
Completely.
I mean, we have talked about that a little bit, but I don't know if we came to any conclusion or not.
Oh, completely understand. Well, that's something you have to decide with the team. Absolutely. So, yeah, appreciate that. And, yeah, no, now everybody's just excited for piano, Boris, if we can get the piano working. So, no confirmation, but if it gets working, oh, yeah, that'd be hard.
All right, so let's see. If I play this, can y'all hear that?
I don't believe so. Can you try it again? Just a little squeaks. Yeah, I think it's a Discord thing. Totally not you, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not really set up to play today. But hey, next interview, or maybe I'll release a video if you guys really want of me playing. So, sorry, didn't work out.
Dude, completely understandable. We'll get that Mozart next time. Boris, from me and the entire Battle Nation community, thank you so much for doing this interview. This was awesome, man. Thankfully, we didn't have any visual glitch either. We had like that 1-2 glitch, and we're apparently getting some buffering now, but for the most part, I think it came out great. I think it's going to work good as a VOD. Of course, I'll check with you the VOD, everything before. But dude, Boris, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for being part of my face reveal. I'm so excited about to do a bunch of face cam videos now that I've finally gotten that out of the way. And yeah, with all that being
awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Dude, again, thank you. Dude, thank you for coming on. Just say, would you have anything else you would like to add or anything you'd want to throw in?
I just would like to thank the community for being amazing, for being kind to each other and non-toxic. Continue being amazing, and looking forward to a very bright future for Battle Nations.
Same here. Boris, we love you. We love the community. Keep up the great work. You guys are working way too hard for 10 people. We will continue to support you because we know Battle Nations is only beginning. I am so excited to see what the future holds, man.
Yeah, me too.
Are they? Boris, thank you for coming on and have a great day, man.
Thanks.
Later. Well, guys, that will end today's Battle Nations interview, and along with my face reveal. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider dropping a like down below and subscribing to the channel if you are new. Have any questions, suggestions, anything Battles for Nations related? You want to discuss this video, want to discuss more videos, maybe future questions for the next interview or anything of the sort, please leave them down in the comments below. I would love to read them. I would love to get a discussion started down there with you gentlemen. But yeah, with all that being said, this was amazing. I can't believe we've done this. Guys, thank you so much for being a part here. I can't believe I just interviewed a Battle Nations dev. That's something I could tell like 12-year-old me and he'd cry. I can't believe where I've gotten. I'm going to try to save a lot of the emotional stuff for my 1,000 subscriber special. But seriously, I love you guys. Thank you so much for putting me in this position. It was a great interview. I'm about to go I'm about to go edit that to perfection and get it on the channel. Of course, get it Boris to approve that bad boy. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the stream. Boris is such a G. I'm pinning that before we end the stream. I'm pinning that before we end, certainly. Certainly. So, guys, let me get my robe that I quickly threw off when, that first lag spike happened. I freaked the freak out. Emperor robe. Guys, doesn't matter. Guys, thank you for watching. And as always, have a great rest of your day. And now we shall go back to Streamlabs. Goodbye, guys.